Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm on a mission to learn Morse code. And I'm not going to do any kind of activating until I learn Morse code and I'm good at it. So I'm here at Elephant Butte State Park, which has a beautiful lake. It's a desert lake, which weirdly, we just came back to the desert and I missed it. And so, which I never thought I'd say that, but I really missed the beautiful bleakness of the desert. It's just, there's so much sky here. It's unbelievable. So before we get started though, I wanted to talk about learning Morse code because there's kind of a right and wrong way to learn Morse code. And I'm going to tell you from experience. So back in 1984 was the first time I learned Morse code. I learned it just enough to get my novice license, 5 words per minute, and then never touched it after that. And I learned it by staring at a sheet of paper and trying to memorize the dots and dashes. I didn't have access, obviously there was no internet in 84, and it really wasn't a way. I didn't even know how to research how to learn Morse code, okay? I didn't have any record players or tapes or anything like that with Morse code on it. Fast forward 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I tried to learn Morse code again, and I was pretty successful. I learned all the letters and numbers and some of the punctuation, and I did it my own way. I did it by staring at paper, just like I did the first time, and I memorized it. And, I felt really good about myself. But honestly, like turning on the radio, I couldn't copy to save my life. Like, it was terrible because all I was doing was trying to like decode every letter with the dots and dashes. Well, that was a dot, dot, and a dash. Okay, that's a U. By that time, 10 letters had gone by, okay? This time I did my research. This time I went online and I learned that learning the sound of Morse code, not the dot, dot, dashes, was a better way of learning it. Just like we know the word W. We know the word W, and as soon as we hear someone say W, we're not decoding that. We just specifically know what that is, right? Well, if you hear a da-da-da, you should be able to do the same thing, theoretically. You should hear that, and just like speaking a different language, you would hear that sound, da-da-da, and that would be a W, right? And so I started learning it that way. And so I downloaded an app and I started learning. Now, it took me for a while to figure out how to use the app right, because even then there's some learning. So what works for me, and I think what would work for most people, would be just to get some app that have some controls behind it, because you need to be able to change two things. One, you need to change the code speed, okay? So just set that to like 20, 21, 22, something like that. 20 was comfortable for me. I like 20. I set it to 20. Then there's going to be something called Farnsworth spacing, or they'll call it letter spacing or whatever. What you want to do is space out the time between letters, okay? So once you do that, then you want to follow the Koch method, K-O-C-H, Koch. I think that's pronounced Koch, like Heckler and Koch. It's Koch, right? So you want to space those letters out and then start doing the whole, go through whatever, I think it starts with K or something, and it goes all the way through letters and numbers and some punctuation in there, and learn it that way, okay? Once you have gotten past all through the letters, once you've learned all the letters, then I set the app I used to just giving me call signs, call sign after call sign after call sign, and they're international, so you're not just getting K or N or any of the local ones. You're getting them from all over the world, and just have it do the call signs at you. As you get better at receiving, shorten the space between the letters. Never change your code speed, just shorten the space, okay? And that's this time how I learned Morse code, and I did it very well, and it worked very well. Now, unfortunately, some of it carried over from my previous learning, and that is so unfortunate. And that's why I'm giving you guys this instruction here, because some letters I still try to decipher by dots and dashes, and it's just become natural for me to do it, but it slows me down terribly because our mind just doesn't work fast enough to hear the sound, turn it into dots and dashes, and then turn that into a letter. It's better just hear the sound and know it's that letter. It works so much faster. And I know, like, there's a lot of letters I just hear and I know, and then there's some letters like X. X always gets me. I hear da 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 da, and in my mind I'm going da 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 X. And by that time, if it's not the last letter, I've missed the next 3 letters. And it's just so frustrating, and I can't seem to break myself of it. So I see stuff on Facebook all the time, on ham radio, Facebook page, and stuff like that, and they're posting like clever ways they've broken down these charts and stuff. Man, don't look at that stuff. Don't look at any printed page about Morse code. Get that out of your mind, put those away or throw them away, get rid of that stuff. You need to just hear it. Because if you don't do it that way, you might get really, really good at decoding it, but you will cap out 15, 16, 17 words a minute. You will just cap out, and you can't get past that until you start to learn to hear the letter instead of decoding the letter. Okay, you guys understand what I'm talking about? Good, because that's really important. So I hope this helps you guys to learn. I'll tell you, because if I don't tell you now, I will be absolutely inundated. And I'll put a link to it. Unfortunately, the app I use is it's only available for Android. So it's the India Zulu 2 Uniform Foxtrot Morse Code something. India Zulu 2 Uniform Foxtrot Morse Coke CW is what it's called. And I'll put a link to it for Android down below. I'm positive you're going to be able to find some app for your phone or for your computer. Just do a little research. You're a ham radio operator, for God's sakes. Come on. And you'll be able to do the research, find an app that allows you to change those things, and that will help you. If you follow the instruction I've given you today, that I think you'll quickly learn Morse code, and you'll learn it the right way to get your mind to just decode the sounds and understand, like the sound becomes a letter, just like learning Spanish or something. I mean, if you think about it, learning Morse code is phenomenally easier than learning Spanish. There's like 36 words, right? Versus an entire dictionary of words in another language. So learning Morse code actually isn't that hard. It's just letters and your spelling. And all the stuff you do is in English. And I will encourage you, once you know your letters and numbers, go out, activate, or whatever you do with Morse code, do it, because there's a certain protocol you're going to follow during that cycle that makes it very easy. You're going to say CQ, they're going to send their call sign, and that's why I say listen to the call sign, because those are the hard ones. You're using the whole alphabet there. You're going to get their call sign, you're going to repeat it back to them and say thank you, your UR, or RST, UR 559, and then maybe send your state, or if you're activating a park, they know your state, so you can just say BK, back to you. And then they're going to send back, thank you, TU, UR, 559, and they'll send their state, Illinois. And then they'll say BK again. And then you'll say, thank you, TU, 73. Dit, right at the end. Dit. That heralds back to shaving a haircut, 2 bits. So anyway, it's easy. So once you get your letters and numbers, you can activate like crazy. It's so easy after that. So, and then as you're doing it, you'll be so focused, you'll learn really, really fast, and your speed will increase. And I still listen to my app now. I'm not good. I would be doing SSB if I was good, because I said I wouldn't, right? So, but I still listen to my app so I can get my speed up. I still have to ask people questions. That's another letter you should just absolutely learn is question mark. Did it, did it. You gotta learn that one because you'll use it a lot when you're starting. But people will send their call sign, and then I will get their call sign, and I will I'll only get part of it, and have to get it. Sometimes I get it, and I'm real